Mixed practice of standard form and point slope form. If you need a reminder of what those things are, there they are. Let's jump into it. I can write and solve linear equations in standard form. Graph these linear equations. Y equals 1, x equals -4. Vux. Holy, just in case you need a little reminder, vertical, undefined, and x equals. So number 2, which I'll do in red, it looks like this. It's vertical. It happens here where x equals -4. But guess what? X equals -4 all up and down that line, right? And then this other one I'll do in blue. Y equals 1. It is horizontal. The slope is 0. It's y equals 1. Y equals 1 right there, but it also equals 1 all along this line. Okay. Find the x and y intercepts of the graph. So x-intercept happens when y is 0. So that is when x equals 7. And then the y-intercept happens when x is 0. So that is y equals -5. The x-intercept happens when y is 0. So the x-intercept is 1/4. And the y-intercept is when x is 0. So our y-intercept is -1/3. The x-intercept happens when y is 0. So the x-intercept is x equals -9. And the y-intercept happens when x is 0. So the y equals -6. The x-intercept happens when y is 0. So x is very easily just 2. The y-intercept happens when x is 0, so the y-intercept is -2/5. That's a little uglier, but there you go. Graph, use the intercepts to graph, label the points corresponding to the intercept. So we're going to have 3 graphs on this graph, 3 lines, I should say. Don't let that overwhelm you. If it helps, use different colors. I mean, it's whatever. Or just label them. Call this one A, call this one B, call this one C, whatever. I have the color capabilities, so I'll call this one green A. Why not? So the x-intercept happens at x is 3. The y-intercept happens, I guess I'll do it in green. The y-intercept happens at y equals -6. So 3 -6, that's not right. That's right. Let's see, I can graph a line on here. Let's make it green. And we'll do our best to go like that. Kind of like this. Okay. There is that line. All right. Next, we'll call this one B. The x-intercept happens when x is -9. The y-intercept happens when when y equals 9/4, also known as 2 1/4. Hey, thanks. That's really pretty. X is -9, y is 2 1/4, x is -9, y is 2 1/4 right there. Yikes. Let's get the red line going. Like that. Like that. There's the red line. And last but not least, the x-intercept is, let's see, when x is 9. And the y-intercept happens when y, so y-intercept when y is -3. 9 and -3, 9, -3, and here we go. Something like that. So there are those lines. Fun, huh? You got a budget of $150 to order gifts for your club. There's your equation. X keychains. Y wristbands. Interpret the terms of the coefficients in the equations. The terms are 5x. Hold up. Gotta keep my colors correct. 5x is keychains. 2y, number of wristbands. And also 5 would be the dollar amount, 2 would be the dollar amount, and then last but not least, $150 is your total budget, because that's what that says. Graph the equation, interpret the intercepts. Gotcha. The x-intercept is, x is 30. So notice our graph doesn't go up to 30. What are we gonna do? Well, we'll figure that out in a sec. And then the y-intercept. I don't know why I decided to change colors completely, but the y-intercept is 75. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to say, hey, they've given me this, and I'm going to completely ignore how they have asked me to follow. And that is your freedom as well. And what I'm going to do is the X was blue, the Y was red. So here's what I'm going to do. Let's call this like 50. So there's 75. And if this is 50, then 30 is like, let's say right here. And I know that you might be thinking, well, that's not really exact. Are you really just guessing? Yeah, I am. Here's our graph. Like that. So what do the intercepts mean? We could just buy 30 keychains. And the other one is we could buy 75 wristbands. And your club decides to order 18 keychains. So, you know, had I made this perfect, then I'd be like, oh, okay, boom, 18 keychains cost that much, or, you know, allows us to buy this many wristbands. But we don't know what that is. We're going to have to plug it in pretty much no matter what. So, I don't know if you saw it. I erased this a little bit up here, so I'm going to plug it in here. So let's see. 18 keychains. Keychains was X. So 5 times 18 plus 2y equals 150. I'm going to cheat with a calculator. 5 times 18, that's 90. So when I subtract 90, that's 60. We'd have 30. And you know what? That kind of checks out, right? Because I said that this was 50. So, I mean, 25 would be around in here. Boom, 30. Cool. Now we're on to point-slope form again. Write an equation in point-slope form for this. Well, do you remember the point-slope form is this? If you do, then you will write this. Y minus 5 equals x plus 4. How did I get that? Well, let's do the in-between here. Because this is an x and this is a y. And you take that 5, you plug it in right there. You take this 5, and I mean, this part's not going to change. The slope being 1, I just dropped it here because we don't need to really distribute a 1. And then negative 4 minus negative 4 is plus 4. So there's that one. Number 2, y minus 4 equals 1/3 x minus 3. How did I do that? Y minus y1, that's my y, equals m, there's my m, times x minus x1, there's my x. That's it. So, there's your answer. And by the way, just point slope form, if that's all they ask you for, dude, you've got it. You have a point, you have a slope. There's not much else to it. And last but not least, for I guess this little section, y plus 6 equals negative 1/4 x minus 2. Done. Again, y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. There's our x, there's our y. Write an equation in slope-intercept form. If you need a reminder, that's our buddy that looks like this. And notice they've given us 2 points. Neither one of them are the y-intercept. So we actually have, like, you could say we have some work to do, but whatever. Here's what I'm going to do. Since I have a graph, I'm going to use rise over run to find the slope. I mean, I could use the slope equation, but I've got a graph, so why not? So here's what I'm going to do. Rise up 1, 2, 3. Run 1, 2, 3. That slope is negative 1. So now I can write y minus, pick a point. It doesn't matter which point. I like this one because it's got a 0. So y minus 0 equals negative 1 times x minus negative 2. Well, to simplify this, it's negative x minus 2. Dude, I'm done. And it checks out too, because there's my y-intercept of negative 2. And if I were to go up 1, just look, it stair steps backwards, right? Easy peasy. Little bit different to calculate, because check this out. Our scale is we're going by 2s. 2, 4, 6, 8, right? So when I rise, this is 2, 3. Run 2, 3. So I think my slope is 1. But let's just be ultra careful, and we will do y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, and I get 3 over 3. Okay. Ultra careful time. Maybe wasn't necessary, but we did it anyway. Now, which point do you want to pick? I like that one. Why not? Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Y minus 2 equals x minus 6. I just add 2. And I'm done. Let's see if that works. Y-intercept of negative 4 looks right to me. Rise 1, run 1. Well, so since this is by 2s, let's rise 2, run 2, rise 2, run 2, rise 2, run 2, rise 2. Oh, wait a second. Did that check out? Negative 4, rise 2, run 2. Rise 2, run 2, rise 2, run 2. Rise 2, run 2. Oh, yes, it did. I just didn't hit the exact point because I was rising 2, running 2. There we go. So, boom, there's our answer. Write an equation in slope-intercept form. So, hey, check it out. Now I don't have the graph, so I have to do this. I guess I didn't have to do it up there. I just wasn't trusting of the graph. So here's how I end up doing these. I write x and y just so I don't get them mixed up. I know that might sound a little silly, but it helps me to go, okay, that's my y. No mistakes. Y minus y1, x minus x1. So that is negative 12 over, let's see, negative 5 plus 3 is negative 2. Our slope is 6. Which point would you like to pick? How about that one? Y minus, oh, and it wants it in slope-intercept form, which, remember, y equals mx plus b. I always need to read my own directions, you know what I mean? Y minus 6 equals 6 times x minus negative 3. Y minus 6 equals 6 times x plus 3, so that's 6x plus 18. If I add 6, I get that. Number 7, x, y, x, y. The y's are exactly the same. That means I have 0 rise, and I will have all sorts of run, because anything divided by 0, 0 divided by anything is still 0. So my rise over run, my slope, this is a horizontal line. So this is y equals negative 4. And if you're like, wait, what? Could you actually do the math guy? Yeah. Y minus negative 4 equals 0 times x minus 2. That's y plus 4 equals 0. Y equals negative 4. And if you were to plot this, you would see that it's like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. You have 1 point here, 1 point here. It's just a horizontal line. Moving on. X, y, 14 minus 18. 7 minus negative 7. You might have thought that this was going to be undefined for a second, but you got to keep track of your negatives. So we get negative 4. It's an ugly negative 4. Negative 4 over 14. So our slope here is negative 2/7. Nice. Let's plug it all in. Y minus 18 equals negative 2/7 x minus negative 7. Y minus 18 equals negative 2/7 x. And then, so this is x plus 7. So when we multiply it by negative 2/7, we get negative 2. And when we add 18, we get negative 2/7 x plus 16. Last ones, write a linear function. Write a linear function. You know what I'm about to do? I'm about to do point slope form. But because I'm your teacher, I'm probably do both so that you can see all of the goodness. So here's what I'm gonna do real quick. X, Y, X, Y, X, Y, X, Y, X, Y, X, Y. Why am I doing that? Sorry to say Y so many times. Because when you have f of x, that is y, okay? And the thing inside the parentheses, that's very clearly x, right? So here we go. Negative 4 minus 2. We did that one first. So we will do 7 minus negative 5 here. Negative 6 over 12, that's negative 1/2. Y minus 2 equals negative 1/2 times x minus negative 5. So technically I'm done with my point slope form. Put a box around it, but if we want to do slope intercept form, we have y minus 2 equals negative 1/2 x minus 5/2. We're going to add 2 to both sides. 2 is really 4 over 2. So we're going to get y equals negative 1/2 x minus 1/2. Why is it minus 1/2? Because negative 5/2 plus 4/2 would be negative 1/2. So either one of those works. Please tell me you didn't try and do it in standard form, because that would just not be fun for anyone. All right. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1 is 6/14. What? That's ugly. Divide by 2, we get 3/7. Y minus 1 equals 3/7 times x minus negative 2. Remember, you're done if you're in point slope form. And that's a linear function, but here we go. We'll keep going. Y minus 1 equals 3/7 x plus 6. Oh my gosh, 6/7. Add 1, add 7/7 over here, and you get y equals 3/7 x plus 13/7. So that's the other answer, assuming you didn't do standard form. And last but not least, y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1, negative 15 over 5 is negative 3 for a slope. Y minus negative 3 equals negative 3 times x minus negative 3. And if you're like, where is he getting all these 3's from? Right here. I just looked and said, I don't really want to do that. And here's the thing. You could also do that, okay? Now let's simplify y. So here, remember, technically that would work. Y plus 3 equals negative 3x minus 9. You subtract 3, and you get this. That does it for the mixed practice of standard form and point slope form. Let me know what questions you got.